Hello friends, my name is Shayla and today I'm here with a little bit of a discussion video for you. Today I wanted to talk to you about why I love manga. As you guys have noticed on this channel in the last year and a half or so, I've been growing a pretty extensive manga collection. Manga is a Japanese form of a graphic novel. They are typically in black and white. Occasionally they'll have some color panels within them, but that's not very often. But most of all, it is a graphic novel style format, typically done in black and white, in the standard look of like an anime. So manga has a very distinct style to it. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about it. I find the artwork within manga to be very stunning. It's a broad range. There's all sorts of different types of artists within the manga category, and I really like being able to explore all the different artistic styles within manga. There are certain things that most of them will do, like the way they portray a person's eyes is usually pretty indicative of who they are in their character and some things like that. So it's really interesting once you learn some of the nuances of manga to be able to enjoy the story in that format. The next thing I'd like to talk about is just the diversity that you can find within manga. I mean, you can pretty much find almost any story you want within the manga category. So you can find things that are considered slice of life, just kind of glimpses, more of a contemporary style novel. You've got all sorts of romance style things. You can take that as tame or as, you know, smutty as you want, really. And all types of romance really are kind of included. There are male-male romances, female-female romances, and there are whole categories of manga dedicated to those different types. So you, like I say, you can pretty much find anything you're looking for. There's sci-fi, there's fantasy, there's action, there's superheroes, there's everything that you could possibly think or want within that manga genre. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the endings of manga. Now, some mangas end very tidy, end up exactly where the creator wants you to, and, you know, they basically tell you exactly how it's going to end. A lot of manga, especially contemporary style mangas, tend to leave the endings open-ended, so you get to decide the ending on these kinds of manga, and I find that to be so enjoyable. A recent example of this is Wake Up Sleeping Beauty. This particular manga series is a short one. It is 6 volumes. It is about a young man who, due to family circumstances, decides he wants to join the workforce rather than go to college. And so over the summer break, he takes a job working for his dad's cleaning company, ends up at this particular property of a wealthy family, and he's told not to go up to this particular annex on the family property. But what he notices is a beautiful young girl looking at him constantly from this annex. And anyways, things happen, shenanigans ensue, they meet, and anyways, towards the end of this manga, you are so attached to these characters that you want your own ending for them. Each ending the person comes up with is great. And the creator left it very open-ended and left you all these options so you get to choose how they end. Somebody else who said that they like to do that recently is actually Brandon Sanderson. He considers his readers to be the directors of his novel, so that's why he doesn't have pronunciation guides for his characters and things like that, because he wants you to determine those things so that it's truly an experience just for you. And last but not least, manga is really quick to read. So I live a very busy, hectic life. I own a salon. I'm a business owner. I work 6 days a week. So I can't always sit down and binge read a novel that I particularly want to. Granted, I've had a lot of time recently to do some reading, so I've been doing a little more binging than I normally would. But all in all, a volume of manga takes me anywhere from a half an hour to an hour, depending on how detailed the panels are. And that's like 200 pages of a graphic. And they're enjoyable. I find myself smiling and laughing or like in tears depending on what I'm reading. And like I say, I can find any kind of story I want. It doesn't take me long to enjoy that portion of the story. I mean, there are some series that, let's see, I think the longest running manga series is 100 volumes, and I think it's called Case Closed. But the longest, most popular one is One Piece, and that's 90 volumes long. So there are some series that you could spend some serious time and money investing in if you wanted. And then there are others that are only 2 or 3, where you get a complete story within 2 or 3 volumes and you're done. One that I read recently that was only 4 was That Wolf Boy Is Mine, and it was just a sweet little, slightly paranormal contemporary. It made my heart happy to read it, and it was just short. And again, an open-ended ending, so I got to choose how it ended. When it comes to manga, I know this is a bit of a rambly little video, but I know a lot of people are afraid of manga. They've heard the horror stories about, you know, the pornographic manga, and they're afraid they're going to stumble into it. But honestly, the majority of manga is not that. There is an aspect of manga called fan service, where sometimes girls won't have nearly as much clothes on, or magically the guy's all of a sudden without his shirt. And that's just kind of something in manga that just happens in a lot of ways. You can avoid it depending on the titles that you pick, but a lot of times there are some where it's very heavy and a bunch where it's not. Most of the titles I own aren't very fan service heavy. The most fan service heavy title I own is probably Fairy Tail, to be honest. And that's fine, as long as you know what to avoid, or if you're worried, ask a manga veteran so that you can avoid those kind of things. But manga is not a scary genre or a scary thing to pick up. If you're, like I say, if you're ever concerned or worried, you can come to me or many other manga lovers on this internet thing here, and we can help guide you to some titles where you can avoid the fan service aspect that happens to be within manga. But all in all, guys, manga is beautiful. It's amazing. I really wish I could like put some of my favorite volumes of manga in friends' hands just so that they can experience it. And I want you guys to know that I am happy to recommend manga to you at any time. Feel free to DM me, either on Instagram or Twitter. Those tend to be the 2 places I check my DMs the most. I'm not currently active on Twitter because I'm taking a little break from Twitter and Facebook right now, but Instagram's always going to be the best place to get me. I tend to spend a lot of time on Instagram and my Bookstagram. If you're not following me there, you really should. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here talking about manga. Quickly, I'm going to talk about a couple of my favorite titles. I've had people asking me about my favorite titles recently. Basically anything I own I really love and I would highly recommend. But if I had to pick favorites, I've probably got 3 that come to mind quickly, and that would be Ancient Magus Bride, which is a fantasy-based fairy-style manga. And then I would probably say Full Metal Alchemist, which is much more action fantasy, which I really loved. It has an amazing story as well. And Alphonse Elric is my little cinnamon roll forever. And then after that, I would probably say Orange by Ichigo Takano. That is a coming-of-age, slice-of-life style manga where you've got a group of teens who end up receiving letters from their future selves to try to protect their friend from a terrible fate. That's all they know. And it's beautiful, it's gut-wrenching, I love it, and those are just 3 titles that I absolutely love and adore and I would highly recommend if you're looking for a quick recommendation. Anyways, guys, I know this was a little bit rambly. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love talking about manga, and I will have some manga reviews coming soon. I will have some recommendation videos based on the challenges for the upcoming readathon, which I will leave my announcement video for that linked down below and in the cards so that you guys can check it out. Again, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Shay. Welcome. I hope you will hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon so you know when to come hang out with me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.